Si, 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 do, re, do, si, do, la, do, re, mi, re, do, si, re, do, si, la, sol, si, la. Si, si, hipócrita yo. Cuenta las cosas
Diaz. How's it going? Are we having a good time so far? I love to see a packed room, right?
Yeah, beautiful. Look at all these great faces.
I know, so excited. I'm really happy to be here. Good morning to all, muy buenos dias. And I'm just really excited to have this conversation with John. He's here in LA for a few weeks. And how is it so far? How do you like the city?
Oh, I love the city. I've been living downtown for 2 months now, doing my show at the Amundsen Theater. And what's exciting about that is that Latin content is huge and people want Latin content because my show broke all records at the Amundsen.
Right.
Number
right.
one.
Give it up for that.
Thank you. I'm not fishing for compliments. Number one-man show in the history of the Amundsen, 5th most successful play at the Amundsen. And the reason is that we brought 37% of the audience is Latinx. Before that, it was only 7%.
Wow.
And that made the huge difference. Latin contributions to the economy are just unparalleled.
Absolutely. You're here until the 20th of October, so obviously if you're in LA for a few days, make sure to check it out. I got to see you in New York with this, and I was blown away by the research you've done with telling the story of Latinos and our history, really. Where did this come for you, this show encompassing so much history, so much culture that's been neglected, that's been put aside, yet it's still in books, and you're doing this work?
Well, what happened was my son was being picked on at school in New York City, believe
And
it
this
or not.
happened for real?
This happened for real in New York City, in a very privileged, 1%er school. And you go, how's this happening to me, to my family? Anyway, so at first I wanted my son to beat the crap out of the kid, but I was like, nah, I can't do that. I can't be so old school. I gotta be new school. I gotta be evolved. I gotta up my game. So instead, I wanted to weaponize my son's information and give him Latin facts, Latin heroes, Latin contributions to defend himself with. But what ended up happening was doing the research, because I took his 8th grade history textbook and saw the lack of inclusion of our contributions. And it made me feel less than. And I could understand what happens in other people who think they have power to make us feel less than when our contributions aren't in history textbooks and not being taught about the great things that Latin people have made. We've made America. America would not be America without us, because I found out that we're the 2nd oldest ethnic group in America after Native Americans.
Wow.
That we're the only ethnic group that has fought in every single war America has ever had. That we're the most decorated minority in each and every single war. And I'm talking about the American Revolution. 10,000 of us unknown Latino patriots fought out of a total of 80,000 troops. That means we were 1 in 8. And we had generals and women, Cuban women in Virginia during the American Revolution, sold their jewelry, their hoop earrings and door knockers and gold teeth. I'm kidding. To feed the patriots. And then General Galvez had an army of 3,000. They were ragtag team. They were like the Mets of armies. I could say that because I'm a Met fan. And there were 3,000 Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Mexicans, Native Americans, and freed slaves, and they kicked the British all out of the South. Then he gave $70,000 worth of weapons to George Washington. So we too are the sons and daughters of the American Revolution.
Right.
And when I found that out, I go, wait a minute, how can that not be in history textbooks? How can that not be in Hollywood movies? How can that not be in the History Channel? Because these are important contributions to the making of democracy in America. We are part of what made America. And if you have those facts, people can't demonize you. The president can't demonize us if those facts are in history textbooks or if the facts are out there.
Right.
People can't make us feel less than.
You grew up in New York, from Colombia, born in Colombia,
Yeah.
right? Did you ever, yeah, we have Colombians in the house, love it. Did
One.
you ever, one, and two, 3, 4, there's.
I didn't mean to out you.
Did you ever feel like your son growing up?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah?
absolutely. I mean, I was picked on all over the place because, well, I mean, I'm a little older than most of y'all. So So when we were in Queens, Jackson Heights, it was white flight. But before white flight leaves, they want to give you a little something before I leave. And so I